Bring it on, part 10 of What If Kid Goku Died and Trained with King Kai. Why am I so psyched? I don't know. We're getting near the end of this one, actually, and that means I can move on to a new one. And I don't, I've been enjoying this one, but it's always nice to start something fresh, re-energize the juices, if you will. And plus, we're in an interesting state in this one. So last time on the Dragon Ball Z What If, we had basically a short Buu arc, if you will. Buu did get released. Buu was quickly defeated, though. And I did get a little flack for how quickly he was defeated. But ultimately, let me put it this way. How short I made it in the What If is probably not as short as it would have taken. Buu is a very tricky opponent just because of how magically based he is and how durable and resilient his body is. But ultimately, Buu did not come out even near close to full strength. And going up against Goku and Raditz would have basically just been a suicide mission on Buu's part. Buu probably would have lasted a good while, still, just because of how tricky Buu's body is. But we do see from his fight with Kid Buu that Buu has limitations. Sorry, I was just taking my socks off. I'm home. I don't need to do that. Yeah. Buu has limitations, and Buu got thoroughly thrashed by Kid Buu. So it makes sense that, as I lean back for a bit more comfort, it makes sense that in this circumstance where he was not as strong as he was and should have been, and Goku and Raditz were that much higher on the totem pole, that it would not have been a very long fight. But now we go into an interesting little scenario here. We cut back to the aftermath, and they're all at Capsule Corp, Shin, Kibito, and they have a unconscious but soon to wake up Vegeta there. Now, truth be told, I made it easy saying that when Babidi was killed, the Majin symbol disappears. We don't actually know for a fact if that's what happens, as far as I know, because Babidi was not killed by Piccolo. Babidi was still alive, and then Buu healed him. Granted, he was dying, but he was still alive. So, it's not... I mean, I would like to think that's what would happen. But worst case scenario, they can use the Dragon Balls for that. Or through Kaioshin power magic, they might be... And a lot of focus, they should be able to fix that. Either way, Vegeta's lost the Majin symbol. And now they're discussing exactly what to do with Vegeta. He's never been unlike in some other interpretations, this Vegeta has never been an ally to them. They have no real duty of care to this gentleman. He just tried to kill him again. So what exactly are they doing here? And, they're debating, Shin, Kibito, Raditz are debating this, but Goku's kind of just focusing, he's listening, but he's also just got his own thing going on in his head, just like, well, there is this option and this, but he's just thinking on it. Ultimately, Vegeta just wakes up. Now, we know for the fact that Kaioshins have access to some level of magic or divine abilities, or they are deities. They're lesser deities than, say, like the gods of destruction, but they are deities. It would stand to reason that he could probably bind Vegeta with some... As long as he's staying focused, he could probably bind Vegeta with, God, Divine Key, or, some sort of Kaioshin-esque spell. We know the old Kai has magical abilities thanks to fusing with the old witch. Shin is capable of teleportation, materializing things out of nothing. So... That was stupid. Let's try something with a little less less substance and more mass. This is Kaching, the hardest ore in the universe. You think you want to maybe go step down a little bit first from going from just a rock to the hardest thing in the universe? Maybe try a few before you get to the hardest thing. My God, Shin, you really suck at your job. But no, we gave him a little bit of bite in this one. Vegeta's waking up, so he's bound at the moment. So he could transform, but with Goku and Raditz there, that wouldn't be necessarily the smartest thing in the world. He knows he's weaker now without the Majin symbol. So he wakes up and he's just, where am I? Why can't I move? It's like, you can't move because I'm keeping you immobile for the moment, Vegeta. And then he sees guys, And Vegeta's just looking at him. He's just glaring at him. You've caused a lot of trouble, Vegeta. Yeah, by all accounts, I should have killed you in our fight. However, however, my respect for you for all my hate I have for you, I still respect you as a warrior. And as a Saiyan, I didn't want you to have such a weak and foolish death being manipulated by someone else. I may not be the same. My pride might not be the same as yours, Vegeta, but I still have my pride of my own. But the question is now, what do we do with you? We can't just simply say, well, we can't just simply let him go. And he's right. He poses too much of a threat. Meanwhile, Vegeta's just like, he's just looking at Goku, and Goku's just kind of staring back at him a little bit. And Vegeta now, Vegeta hates what he's feeling right now. Because, and give me a minute to really explain what's going on, because he's feeling a lot of emotion, obviously anger, hate, but there's other emotions going in there too. And the reason for this, and Vegeta's like, damn it. I hate this. And Ryan's like, what are you talking? It's your own fault, yeah. Of course it's my own fault, you damn irritating fool. Fool. Why do you think I hate this? What? Do you think it's because I lost to you again? Of course I hate losing to you. No. I hate this because I owe you now. And they're just like, huh? And this was what Goku was kind of sensing Vegeta. He could sense kind of the shift in Vegeta just a little bit, because Goku's really in tune to that kind of thing. If any kind of, unless he's like pure evil or something, Goku's actually pretty in tune to like these kind of emotions, surprisingly. He's a very intuitive fighter that way. And it's like, I hate that I lost to you. I hate that you're still stronger than me, even with the aid of magic. Even with the aid of a sorcerer boosting my strength. But what I hate most of all is that you were right. God, just saying that makes me feel sick to my stomach. I was right. Yes, you were right. I threw away my pride, all for the chance of taking you down. I didn't trust in my own power, and let someone else control me like a puppet on strings. And yet, what happened? You still beat me. If you hadn't won, I would still be under that bastard's control. So I owe it. I owe you, whether I like it or not. And then Goku finds himself. Then I'll make you. Then why don't we make a deal, Vegeta? What deal would that be? You leave Earth alone. You don't come back here. At least not for a good while. I'll give you a minimum of 5 years, or whatever amount of time. Time that would be going into Super's time frame. Time years. By then, you can return at any point after that. And in exchange, you can go free. You can take Bobity's ship, or worst case scenario, you can take my old ship. We still have Raditz or mine here. Actually, yeah, they would still have Rad's ship. You can take Raditz's old Saiyan pod. And everyone's just like, Kakarot, are you insane? Why? Not that I'm not inclined to agree with this deal, but why, Kakarot? Because I saw how strong you got back there, Vegeta. Rad's got a chance at you now, and I know if you have the opportunity to train again, you'll get even stronger than before. And I want a chance at you next time. And we both need that. Or what's the best way Goku would phrase the sentence? We both need that thing that drives us, the thing that makes us want to get stronger, Vegeta. We are apparently that for you. And you can be that for us. We don't have to kill each other, Vegeta. And Vegeta's just looking at this like, spare me the sentimentalities, or what is it, sentimentalities, or spare me the sentiment? Spare me the sentiment, Kakarot. But your terms are agreeable. Release me, and on my honor, I'll keep my word. And Goku's like, you heard him, Shin's like, are you insane, Goku? It's okay. It's okay. But he has many things, but he is a man of his pride and his word. If he says he'll keep his promise, he'll keep his promise. So, besides, worst case scenario, we're still here just in case. And, Shin's like, very well then. And, he releases Vegeta, and, just straightens out. Point me to your point me to your ship so I can get off this planet. And, they show him to the ship, and basically, he finds a ship and he sets it for a course to wherever. It's like, are you sure about this, Goku? Yeah, I'm sure. And it's like, well, you're not going to get a thank you from me, Kakarot. And it's like, well, I'm not expecting it, Vegeta, but I am expecting you to come back after that time, or, but at some point, I am expecting you to probably make your way back here for another round. And I hope you keep. And I basically hope that you don't stop getting stronger, because I'm looking forward to that rematch. And Vegeta actually does manage a smile, like that kind of like, oh, you will get a rematch. It's like it's one of the few things you and I can agree on, Kakarot. I look forward to that as well. Now I take my leave. I've had enough of this ilk. And, he heads off into space. So Vegeta is, again, out of the picture for the time being. But now we get basically the time skip between DBZ and Super. Now, again, I don't believe it's actually ever fully... Okay, hold on. Dragon Ball Super. Dragon Ball Super. Tell the gods to blow them all away. Anyway. Dragon Ball Super. I don't know if it's ever... I can never remember what the time frame between the Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super Saga is. So, let's see. Okay, release... Plot. Story. Okay, story. Peaceful... I mean, I know they imply it's actually been like a year or two. It's like been a few years. But again, they don't really specify, I think, the exact amount of time. Maybe they do, and maybe I'm missing it. I know it's like a few years, actually. Few months to a few years, anyway. Either way, in that time, what kind of happens with, like, Goku and Raditz getting stronger? Vegeta, we'll talk about Vegeta when he ever comes back into the story, and trust me, he will. It turns out they get stronger. Well, obviously, they still have Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2, Akari, and Super Saiyan Akari. As I described initially, Super Saiyan Akari was kind of the equivalent of just putting like a serious Kaioken on you. You can't take that form can't sustain itself for very long. It's kind of like a Super Saiyan 3, except even a lot harsher on your body. Because Super Saiyan 3 is really just draining your ki and your stamina, whereas Kaioken, and by extension the Akari form Super Saiyan this version, is actually putting a lot more, it's actually putting legitimate strain on your body. Like, you won't blow yourself up using Super Saiyan 3. You just can't really use it for long intervals. Whereas you could kill yourself using Akari Super Saiyan if you're not careful. But given the amount of time they have here, and given the relationship the families have, Chi-Chi, Goku, Raditz, and Bulma, they're a lot more social with each other. I think Goku's able to balance his training with his day job of, a radish farmer a lot easier. Likewise, Gohan does, by the way, get some training in. Like I said, Gohan's just not as strong in these kind of stories where the catalyst for him getting stronger, Piccolo kidnapping him, or he's just born in a way like he's a Broly or something like that, where something specific about Gohan tailors him to be a fighter. He's just not improving that much. Raditz also obviously gets training in. In fact, he gets a bit more training in because, he doesn't have to really work. He's married to the richest woman in the world. Although he probably does spend time playing with his kids and stuff like that, training with Trunks, playing with Bra, all that. I'd actually think Raditz would probably be a pretty solid dad. I mean, don't get me wrong, Vegeta we find ends up being a pretty solid dad too. But the whole thing is that at the time when I created the Akari Super Saiyan, which appearance-wise really just looks like Super Saiyan with more wild hair, we did not do Akari Super Saiyan 2, and that's just because the strain would be too great for them. I imagine, given the time frame between DBZ and Dragon Ball Super, they would have achieved like Ikari Super Saiyan 2. But at that, again, it's kind of like trading up. And by that I mean Ikari Super Saiyan is something now they can kind of maintain much longer. It's still strain on their body, but they can handle a lot easier. Think of it like Kaioken. The stronger you get, you can maintain Kaioken in lower levels, like double, triple, quadruple Kaioken. You can maintain that type of Kaioken for longer than you could, say, Kaioken times 10 or 20 or whatever, because the strain is minimal compared to what you're actually, what your body's used to handling. And that's kind of the same thing here, is that Ikari Super Saiyan now is a lot easier for them to handle, whereas Ikari Super Saiyan 2, more difficult to handle. And appearance-wise, that looks pretty much like Ikari Super Saiyan, but more, the more prominent, sharp, pointy hair, even though it's still wild, and the electric sparks. Will I be going with an Ikari Super Saiyan 3? Well, no, we're already in Super. If they're having to hit Super Saiyan 3 by Super, they're not hitting it. At least they're not. Hint, hint. But anyway, and Raditz and Goku, because of the instant transmission, luckily from King Kai, Goku is able to come and go as he pleases if he likes, because he spent so many years with it, he's really gotten a mastery of it. Him and Raditz probably hang out in King Kai's every now and then, which is probably where we find them in the series. Or at very minimum, we find Goku there. Raditz probably is okay training in the gravity chamber. He probably doesn't, because he doesn't really know King Kai that well. Like, I'm sure he's met him a couple times, but he's like, well, Goku, we don't really know each other that well. I mean, it's like, seriously, Kakarot, this is awkward. But occasionally he's there. I mean, King Kai's planet is clearly, it's 10 times Earth's normal gravity, so it still makes for a solid training spot as to why Goku trains there. So obviously, Beerus wakes up. Yes, I had a dream about the Super Saiyan God, and the whole Super Saiyan God thing happens, which leads to the confrontation with Goku and Beerus. Now, it goes roughly about the same in terms of the intro, because he says they're saying Goku greets him, King Kai tells him to be more polite, and Goku again wants to take him on. Now you get obviously in base form, can't really do anything against him. Super Saiyan again, can't do anything against him. He goes to Super Saiyan 2, can't do anything against this guy. But now remember, because the Ikari is just Uzaru in base form, kind of like compressed, that is a 10 times multiplier on whatever these already existing multipliers are. So Super Saiyan base is 50. I know, by the way, that there are in fact technically higher multipliers when like true Super Saiyan, Ultra Saiyan, all that stuff. But it's always depicted as Super Saiyan, even if it's perfect. It's 50 times, roughly. And look, we can talk semantics. I know there's people who've calculated it, all that. Should note that just because people have calculated it too, that doesn't mean it's canon. Unless someone comes out and says it's canon. And I'm not throwing shade at anyone for doing their stuff. I actually really find those kind of videos enjoyable to watch. Because I'm a numbers guy. I like numbers. But I'm just saying, look, you can calculate all you want. Unless the official writer comes out and says something, I'm sticking with the 50. And like the time and times 2 off the 50, and then the times 4 off the 2. But anyway, because Super Saiyan 3 is 400 times base. But remember, times 10 off the standard Super Saiyan means he's already surpassed his Super Saiyan 3 power level just with Ikari Super Saiyan. So when Goku does that, Beerus does take note of that finally, because he took note of Goku's Super Saiyan 3 power too. Still thrashed Goku, but he took note of it at least. It's like, this is quite... And he is stronger than he was when he fought Beerus in canon. So, it's impressive, but is this all you really have, or do you have some other power you're hiding from me? And Goku goes back, powers back down to Super Saiyan, goes to Super Saiyan 2, boom! And it's like, well, there is one more power, Lord Beerus, though I can't handle this one for very long. Oh, well, do your best. I'm sure it'll be interesting, nonetheless. And sure enough, Goku goes Super Saiyan 2 Ikari, and Beerus does take note of that. Like, Beerus is actually, my, that is actually impressive. Because, keep in mind, that's 10 times 100 times, that's 1,000 times base. Now, granted, the Super Saiyan 4 and I'm using Super Saiyan 4 because there's an actual example here. Super Saiyan 4 has never had a true calculated percentage boost or multiplier, sorry. But the most common one I hear or I've seen is times 10 Super Saiyan 3, because Goku was Super Saiyan 3 when he went Uzaru in that. So you had the times 10 multiplier on that, it's times 4, or it's times 4,000 base. That said, I know there's plenty of other arguments for it, but what I'm getting at is Goku would be about 1/4 his Super Saiyan 4 power from GT at this point. And again, Beerus actually takes actual legitimate note. And I think at this point, because remember, Vegeta actually raged out against Beerus and actually took Beerus by surprise. Beerus wasn't feeling any of it, mind you, but he still took Beerus by surprise. And I can't imagine that he was he's like 2.5 times stronger than Goku at that point. He was probably more like 2 times, like one. It's probably more like where if Goku's multiplier Super Saiyan 3 is like a 400 times multiplier, Vegeta at that point was probably like a 400 or 600 times multiplier. Like they said, he surpassed Goku. They did. So I imagine when Goku goes into this form temporarily, like he can't hold it for very long. I would say he does surprisingly overwhelm Beerus for a moment. Like Beerus is in legitimate. It's like oh. It's like, Kamehameha, he tags Beerus, and Beerus is just like, well, I must admit that was very impressive, Saiyan. You caught me off guard there. Now allow me to retort. And then just puts Goku down. I was like, well, I must admit, this was entertaining, and you are impressive. But the Super Saiyan God isn't here. I suppose I'll have to head to Earth then. It's like, oh no, and it's like, Goku, wow, he really was strong. Goku, Raditz, like, what is this, King Kai? Lord Beerus is coming. You must not let him get angry, or he could destroy the planet Earth and with just a breath. Just a breath. Like, wow, what is with that? Just a breath. I'm close enough. That last bit, I was like, breath. I'm like, what? What am I doing with that voice? That's not King Kai. And Raditz, unlike Vegeta, probably doesn't know who Beerus is. I actually don't think most of the Saiyan race knew who Beerus was. Vegeta and King Vegeta definitely knew, because he was, King Vegeta was licking Beerus's boot heel. And Vegeta got made a punk by him. But I don't think the rest of the Saiyan race really knew who he was. So when King Kai lets him know who he is and how he thoroughly thrashed Goku, Raditz is just like, no, you're joking. Oh dear. And then, it's like, okay. And it's Bulma's birthday. So, they're all there and celebrating. All right, we got to be careful. Maybe he won't find us. Like, what's the matter, Saiyan? What's the matter, Saiyan? You seem a little uptight. And then Beerus was like, hello there. We're looking for a Super Saiyan God. Could you help us? So that is where we're going to end it off, with Whis and Beerus showing up on the boat. I will address one thing real quick. Hercule, Videl. Is Videl like a thing with Gohan at this point? Is Hercule a thing with the group? Videl? Maybe. It didn't occur to me until honestly just now about that. Because it really doesn't play that much onto the story, because we do have Bra here, so we have that other Saiyan for the collective Super Saiyan God here, so we're all good. But it does beg the question, like, would he have hooked up with Videl? I think eventually he would have, because he's showing off his stuff. Videl would have been able to see it, so she would have taken probably an interest in Gohan. Yeah, I would say that, yeah, they probably would. They probably would be together, which in turn would bring Hercule there, who admittedly hasn't seen a lot of stuff from them, so he probably thinks it's all a trick, but quickly they show off and quickly he's put in his place. So, yeah, I would say that Videl would be there. Whether or not she's pregnant with Pan, though, that's actually a good question. I don't know if they've been dating that long, because they are dating a lot later in the series in this case. But who knows? Anyway. Either way, Pan would not have, because Pan doesn't have any bearing on the story except to be that extra Saiyan for Super Saiyan God ritual, and we got Bra for that. So really, whether or not Videl's actually there doesn't really matter. Nor does Hercule, honestly. At least not in this version. I digress. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. And ideas for who would win. Star Wars, Super Magic, What If. Anything you can do in the channel, put that in the comments below. Let me know. I'll get to that at some point. Hit that bell if you want notifications. That's all I got for today, folks. Thanks for watching. Thursday will come around, though, and even though I have no videos planned, like I don't even have any movies to go out and see, though someone did request Freebird. Maybe I'll see if I can find that. I do have a video planned for Thursday. Just one, but I do have one. Till then, later, folks.